Top five, top five, top five.
So the topic will back with another video. I'm Strange Wang. Taco Meat over here. His name is Nate. You got a little poppin'.
Oh, I forgot people even call chest hair taco meat.
Yeah. But who doesn't have taco meat is Rachel Mcadams. And we're doing top 5 Rachel
that we
McAdams.
know of.
We're doing top 5 Rachel McAdams movies, and out of her new movie, Are You There, God? There's other words in the title, but I forgot them. So he's tell you how the top 5s work, and then we'll get into it.
He's going to start with his 5 and 4. I'll give my 5 and 4, 3, 2, 3, 2. Then we trade off number ones. We also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means if we both have the same movie, but one person has it 2 spots or higher on their list, we just talk about it once.
Number 5 for Strange Wayne is going to be About Time.
That's a big old Zemeckis.
I haven't seen it enough, and I couldn't find it anywhere, but I was like, I need to watch this movie more.
Yeah, you do need to watch that movie more.
Number 4 is going to be The Notebook.
That's my number 5.
The Notebook, to me, is a movie that is iconic, and if she didn't give a role that fit, that worked for that movie and the vibe it was going for, the movie wouldn't have worked.
Mm-hmm.
People would not have fell in love with that movie how they did. So she played her role to perfection. Even though I don't care about that movie too much, it's hard not to be like, that's a iconic ass movie.
Yeah, it is. It truly is. And like, honestly, for a romance movie that was like based off a book, some of the cinematography in The Notebook is very good.
Incredible cover.
Incredible. But yeah, she's great in that movie. She's like incredibly charming. You believe, like, her acting in that movie makes you believe that her character is actually feeling all the things that she makes it seem like she is feeling. She sells it really well. One of my favorite things about The Notebook is in my head, I always just think of it as like nothing but a pure romance movie, which we don't really get any of those anymore.
Yeah.
And then I'll watch it, and because I am not expecting any comedy, some of their like little verbal sparring matches they get in just make me laugh really hard because it is kind of funny. And when I'm not expecting anything to be funny at all and expecting it to just be romance, and then like her and Gosley just start going back and forth on some dumb shit, it cracks me up. So I actually really like The Notebook. It's a pretty good movie.
I got a question.
What's the question?
I think it's fair to say to most people that aren't you, Mr. I'm gonna laugh through Hereditary. The Notebook's considered a pure romance.
Yeah, I would not consider it a romantic comedy.
Do you think it is the biggest romantic film since Casablanca?
I knew you were when you said since, I knew you were going to say Casablanca.
What's in between?
Casablanca is one of the
What
most
is in between?
romantic movies of all time.
The 90s and 80s was rom-com central.
Mm-hmm.
You a teen girl, John Hughes got your rom-coms. You an adult, you got Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle. What's the homegirl's name? Nora Ephron?
Yeah.
Boom. They had that shit on lock. But nobody was making romance films.
Yeah.
I guess For Women's a romance film, but there's so much more to that movie that it wouldn't really be considered a romance film.
Yeah.
So what's in between?
Yeah, I feel like just pure romance, not rom-coms, not action movies with romantic subplots, nothing, like just pure romance movies, I feel like are the like least consumed genre of film ever. Because the only other like pure romance movies I can even think of are like freaking Hallmark movies or something, you know? So, yeah, I mean,
My Fair Lady.
I would really have to like
Shit like that.
look at it and like think about it. That's a musical.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So like
Subgenre.
it's still something else. It's not pure romance, right? So
Do you think because people think they're too stupid, the mass audience too stupid, they have to throw in comedy? Because I don't know, one that just popped in my head is the Broken Hearts Gallery, which is like a very fun, like, it's not the greatest movie in the world, but it's fun, it's very watchable, it's decent, but it has a huge level of comedy in it.
yeah.
But it leans more into the romantic side of things.
Yeah. And like the Notebook did spark like this string of like Nicholas Sparks. Like
Yeah,
you got The Vow
They never added up.
and that one Robert Pattinson movie. None of them were ever as good as the Notebook was.
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever seen The Spectacular Now?
No, I know who's in it. Though.
That's really close to a pure romance.
Okay.
Like it's got some it's got like maybe some
What's that got?
I don't know, is romance a subgenre of
Miles
drama?
Teller? Nah, I think romance is its own genre.
Yeah. Cuz it's definitely dramatic. It's got some drama elements to it.
Do people
But-
still call movies chick flicks?
I don't think so. Everything's so
That
blended
quietly
now.
that quietly went away.
Yeah, but because they don't really make them anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
so, yeah. That might be true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? That was my 5 and 4.
Mhm.
Say no, not the same. Could choose Zemeckis.
Yeah.
So your number 4 would be
Mean Girls.
Zemeckis.
Yeah.
Wow. Same list. Two, except
Yeah.
for that 2 Zemeckis.
We're going to have one movie different. I think.
Interesting.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
We might. I'm looking at it now, and I'm like, this movie's gonna be different.
Yeah.
Number 3. I bet this is also your number 3. Southpaw.
Not on my list.
Really?
She's in the movie for like 10 minutes.
You love this movie.
I do
But-
love that movie. And I
See-
was going to put it on the list, but I was just like, I really like these other movies, and she's actually in them, so I'm going to drop it.
I will say I haven't seen a ton of her films. Spotlight's the biggest one that I haven't seen for sure. But this movie, trashy Mcadams, is believable.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it is.
And you don't see that the same thing with Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Like, the motherfuckers just have a switch that I didn't know about. They're like, let me be a bougie white trash person today. Flip.
Bougie white. Oh, yeah, because they're rich when the
Yeah.
movie starts. Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit. I would not expect. And because the type of movie it is,
Mm-hmm.
when I think of her more as an actress.
Yeah.
She did her little Doctor Strange movies to get a paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
of course. But, like, she's more on the art side of the film world.
Yeah,
you know?
she's like smack dab in the middle. Like the movies that she makes, they're big movies. Like she's not popping up in
Yeah.
indies really,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Like, mainstream
yeah, mhm.
drama-esque actress.
Right.
So, how she was just even though it was 10 minutes, if she was in the whole movie, maybe it wouldn't have been, maybe it wouldn't hit so hard. But it's like, damn, you did what you needed to do on a unbelievable level, and you dipped out.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty impressed by that. And as I said, Notebook, not really a film I go back to. About Time, I haven't seen it enough, so that's why Southpaw made it so high on my list.
Yeah. I think Southpaw's a really good place to talk about it because I was thinking about this when I was making my list. There are some actresses that are just like Rachel McAdams has range, so that's not what I'm not saying she doesn't.
Yeah.
But there are just like certain things that some actors and actresses are just really good at doing. Rachel McAdams is like, do you need a character that will make it so like, do you need a character that has undying, unconditional love for someone else? You need Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
Because she just crushes that in almost every single role. And there's only 2 movies where she sucks and like her as a person and because she's supposed to. And that's Mean Girls and Midnight in Paris, which was my honorable mention for the list. And even when she's playing like a complete dick, like she's still really good. But like Southpaw, About Time, another movie that I'm going to talk about on my list that is just so silly that it's even on there, but I can't wait to talk about it. Like even The Notebook, she is so good at just being like incredibly sweet and making you believe that her characters just undyingly, unconditionally love whoever she is supposed to in those films. And I think that's really special because I can't think of anyone else that just automatically does that.
So you're saying she's the definition of relationship goals? And
The characters,
partner.
the characters she plays, yeah, in a lot of them. Sure.
Oh, she's just like a fucking, in real life, she's a manipulating,
She might be
awful person
Yeah.
in relationships.
right, but also you talking about her having that switch where she just all of a sudden is good at playing trashy.
Yeah.
Amy Adams does the same thing in The Fighter.
See, I thought you would say Hillbilly Elegy.
I never watched that piece
movie's
of shit.
trash.
I never watched that movie.
That movie sucks,
well,
dude.
she did it well in The Fighter, and they're both boxing movies, so like that's like a funny comparison to draw to me.
I guess.
Although it is not surprising that Mark Wahlberg was able to play trashy Bostonian.
He was like, just give me the same outfits I had in the Marky Mark video. Number 2 for me is going to be Game Night.
I've never seen Game Night. So
Oh my goodness. Yeah. If we had to make a top 5 comedies of the 2010s, this would 100% be on there. Maybe because I love board games and card games so much that it just speaks to me that I'm a fucking lunatic when it comes to games like that. I just want to play them all the time.
Yeah.
And I just want to win. Especially Uno. I'm not a very competitive person. When it comes to Uno, I'm like pretty competitive. Like I will be screaming obscenities at my screen or at other people when playing Uno. Especially if I'm winning. I'm talking the most shit. I'm the Michael Jordan of Uno. I take shit personal. Bitch, I know you got a reverse in there somewhere, dog. Don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? So, how they are in this game, in this movie, about games, I just fell in love with these characters instantly. I can't even speak, I'm so excited I'm talking about Uno. See, see, you got a problem. But the twists and turns of this movie, they're so fun. They're not predictable. They're logical for the story. It's telling, and the whole time you're just following her and her husband in a fun, investing story. And because of that, it's not her best movie, but it's just one of the most solid choices. Like if I'm sitting down, just got off work, I'm tired, I just want to have a good time, I can't go to sleep yet, I'm popping that in. It's one of those movies. It's so solid of a fucking choice that it's like, boom. And I don't really like comedies made after the 1980s. If you ain't Adam Sandler or Jim Carrey, I probably don't want to watch a comedy. 2000s, old school, Wedding Crashers on occasion.
Well, super bad.
Super bad.
Obviously.
But like, yeah. Incredible. I love it.
Nice.
Definitely need to watch it.
Yeah, I wanted to. I don't own it, and I don't know if they're streaming anywhere or not. But
Jason Bateman, underrated.
I like Jason
People
Bateman.
don't appreciate him enough.
Yeah.
He's a really funny dude.
Yeah, I agree. Jason Bateman's like very good.
And he was in that shitty Teen Wolf 2 movie, and I forgive him for that. Have you ever seen Arrested Development?
No.
I want to watch it because he's in it.
Yeah.
But like, I am with TV.
I understand a lot of people hate this movie. I don't hate it. I think it's like just fine. I love Jason Bateman in Hancock. Like he's the one of the only things that works in that movie for me.
I thought you was going to talk about that movie about the 3 brothers and 1 sister. Their dad dies and they get them all together. Because it's like a Jewish thing, you have to pay respects every night for like 4 weeks or some shit like that. Or a week, something like that. It's got him, Kylo Ren in it. Tina Fey, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Really, the only other Jason Bateman movie I can think of off the top of my head is Juno. But
Bad Words? You ever seen Bad Words?
No.
Shit's fire too. But this is not a Jason Bateman top 5.
yeah. I've also never seen Ozark, but apparently it's very good.
Is it over yet?
I don't know.
See?
Yeah.
I hear shows and I'm like, ooh, I want to watch that. And then I don't Google to see if it's over yet. Oh, shit. This is not topical, but they finally put out the 6th season of Better Call Saul. Impeccable.
Nice.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I got one more episode to go.
Good.
So it might go to shit. But so far, shit's fire.
Yeah.
That was my number 2.
Yeah. So my number 3 is Spotlight. Didn't make it higher because she's sharing it so much with Ruffalo and Michael Keaton. But very good movie. A movie made about something that's really important. This is maybe her most serious movie. And she fits in well. Like she's done comedies in Mean Girls. She's done romantic comedies. She's done pure romance. Like she's done dramas. This is like, but not like super super serious like real life dramas, like Southpaw type dramas. And then she did this, which is like incredibly serious and like a really heavy movie. Not Schindler's List heavy, but like kind of in that same vein. And like she just crushes it. Like she fits in this world really really well to me. She's like of the big three, like she's one of the most interesting ones as like these investigative journalists follow this story. It touches a little bit on how it's affecting their personal lives, but the movie does a really good job of not focusing too much on how it affected their lives while they were investigating it and keeping the focus on the fact that priests were touching little boys. So yeah, incredible work. She is absolutely part of the reason this movie won Best Picture. And it's really good.
Here at Sonotopical, we're unfortunately poor, and this money you see on screen, that's CGI. That's not real money, because again, we're poor. So if you want to click in the ad eye in the corner, that video is monetized, and we can make money off it, so please go watch it.
And if you click an ad, we make more money. And if you really want to help, there's the thanks button right there below this video. Going completely the opposite direction tone-wise, my number 2 is Eurovision Song Quest. This movie is so fucking funny to me. I love that movie, dude. It is heartwarming. Like, it is the only like goof other than Elf, but Elf's a holiday movie. It is the only like goofball Will Ferrell movie that I like. I freaking love this movie, and Rachel McAdams in it is the glue that is holding all of it together. She is so sweet, and like that same thing that we were just talking about before, incredibly charming, like, but also like there's this air of like innocence and like ditziness to her character, but she's also like the smartest one. That movie just makes me smile, and it makes me very happy when I watch it. And I've watched it probably a lot more than most other people have. And although I did not rewatch it for this list, it just made me want to watch it again. I freaking love that movie, and she is so good in it. She should have... I understand why it didn't, because I know how the Academy works. Rachel McAdams should have got a Best Supporting Actress nomination for that movie. And I'm not even like being facetious. Like, she is really, really, really good in that movie.
What else?
Number 1 for me is Mean Girls. She's an absolute cunt in this movie. And that's honestly the nicest way to say it. I could use this clip.
She's a mean girl.
Yeah. She's a...
Stank bitch.
Regina George is one of the most despicable characters in film history. And she's not out there doing shit that's I've seen us worse than some movies. You got people in Girl in the Dragon Tattoo kidnapping, murdering people. There's rape scenes. And I would say Regina George is... I dislike her more than anyone else in that other movie. Just because of the amount of time we get with her. And like, she likes being hateful.
Yeah,
you can see it in her. And I think that's what makes you want Lindsay Lohan's character to...
Get away from her. But
also, like, succeed without her in her high school career, you know. Let her get the boy. Let her do this. Let her just be herself without her interfering in her shit. And I wish I could go back to when this movie was in theaters, open a night, just so I can fucking feel the pop of the crowd when she gets hit by that bus.
Yeah.
That would be a great movie moment. Everyone's just going nuts in my head, like, oh, yes! Like, somebody's going to clap. Like, that, in my mind, that's just a phenomenal movie moment. And it's the 2000s.
It really
that
is.
theater would have been packed for at least 2 to 3 weeks, if not longer. So, just to sit in and watch, just like, all right, it's about that time, like, peek my head in. Oh, yeah, she got hit by a bus. That should be fucking sweet. But in wrestling, they always say it's funner to be a bad guy than it is to be a good guy. And I think that's what McAdams took with the role of Regina George and just relished in it. And it shows in her performance. I think it's the most memorable performance of hers. And personally, I like it the best because of how despicable she is as a character.
Yeah.
But also, at the end of the movie, after the bus scene happens, and they're like, "Oh, well, this is what happened with everyone at the end." You kind of like, all right, you know, and all you get is body language and 2 lines, and you're like, she got homeboard. She's not that bad.
Yeah.
So to have that performance, and then with 2 lines and body language, turn it around and be like, "Oh, she's a bitch." 20 minutes later, she ain't that bad. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. It's amazing how much you can not care about all the shitty things that someone has done after they got demolished by a bus.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now there was some justice.
Yeah.
We can kind of hit the reset button on you a little bit. Yeah, Mean Girls is great. Really like that movie.
This is your 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun. Like, in terms of Amy Adams' performances and stuff like that, like...
Rachel McAdams?
Rachel McAdams, thank you. So, like, if I was going to rank the 5 movies on my list of just how much I like the movies themselves, then it would have been 2 or 3.
Okay.
So, definitely not disrespecting Mean Girls. Mean Girls is incredible. I just, like, I love...
I knew it was a Mecca's, I just didn't know where.
Yeah, it was my 4. I love the version of Amy Adams that... The version of Amy Adams that we've talked about a couple times so much that it's just like mad respect to her for being able to play a dick and do it well, but like that's just not my favorite Amy Adams. So that's why it was lower for me. But Mean Girls is great. She crushes it, and the bus crushes her. So
This is factual.
and there it is. My number 1 is also the Big Old Zemeckis from earlier, which is About Time. This is top 10 movies of all time for me. I freaking adore this movie so much. I love About Time. That movie... There are plenty of movies that have made me cry. Very few movies can do it every time I watch them because I already know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
About Time doesn't matter. I'm going to cry when I watch About Time. And it is because of 2 reasons. One is because of like the stuff between him and his dad in the movie. But the second one is him and her relationship. Because it is just incredibly pure, absolutely perfect. And like Donald Gleason's character is like the fact that he uses this insane ability for like for the most part like just for her is insane. And she is again playing that same role of like incredibly sweet, the human embodiment of unconditional love. But like she's just the right amount of quirky in it, just the right amount of sweet with just the right amount of like I can take care of myself. That character is incredible, and it just makes what for me is one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time even better. So, it's number 1.
I cannot wait till we do our top 10s.
Yeah, I'm really gonna have to think about it.
Because, like, my top 10 top 10 movies I dislike the most, that was very easy. My top 10 guilty pleasures films,
Yeah.
that was relatively easy.
Yeah.
After number 5, you can just do 5 if you want to.
I think my
Not
10,
biggie.
if I made 10 guilty pleasure movies, I feel like they're all just gonna be like shitty screwball comedies. And that's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Like 1 through 5, that was like Escape from LA versus Batman and Robin. Like
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe, Batman and Robin. Where am I putting these? But that top 10 list, I'm keep racking my brain about it.
Yeah.
And it's just...
It is tough to definitively say these are my top 10 favorite movies.
Top 5 I have.
Yeah.
Top 5's easy.
Yeah.
But once you get in the needles,
Yeah.
the weeds, I mean, that's where it gets...
Well, yeah, because it's
confusing.
like, honestly, if you're being realistic, any of your 30 through 6, a lot of those are probably, pretty
Yeah.
tight, so.
But this is in our top 10. I'm curious where it's going to land on his list. About Time. As I said, I need to watch it again. It's
Yeah.
a movie that stuck with me. I remember I watched it. I was probably tearing up a little bit. And I was just like, that's a damn good movie.
It is a damn good movie.
And
Best use of time travel in a movie.
I'm not gonna argue. I haven't went back and rewatched it. I need to.
Yeah.
Very busy. Haven't had time. But let us know in the comment sections below your top 5 Rachel McAdams films. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video,
And
subscribe.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.